Narayan Baravani, who was on the dais. He was the additional SP. He was put in charge of the security on the stage. He began to point at him and ask him, where is the SP and how are they allowing for this protest to happen? At that point in time, he gestures as if he was going to slap this officer. It went viral. We, of course, had spoken about it back then. Many of the media houses had picked that up, and he came under a lot of flack for that gesture as to why would he lose his cool when he knew that officer on the dais had nothing to do or could not really control what was happening. Right in front where the event was actually happening. Now, after that, the officer earlier this month has written to his superiors saying that he was humiliated, he felt demotivated, his morale was down, and he wanted to actually voluntarily retire from service, and said that nobody even from his own force came to his aid. Now, after that, we've heard from the Home Minister, we've heard from multiple leaders who've said that they've spoken to him. The Chief Minister has had a conversation with him. The higher officers have had a conversation with him. They've promised him good postings as well. And finally, today we've heard from the officer himself, who says that after all of these conversations, he has decided to report back to duty. Would this mean that he has put an end to the kind of problems that he has had, or is this going to resurface? That is something that remains to be seen.
Right. Thanks very much, Deepak, for that update. Meanwhile, the government asked the High Court for more time after it asked the government to justify the suspensions, Vasudha, of the IPS officers in the Stampede case. Remember, the CAT delivered a strong order against the suspension of IGP rank officer Vikash Kumar Vikash.
Well, Veera, that's not the only controversy in Karnataka. The state's survey to enumerate scheduled castes leading to an exchange with some residents, and the BJP complaining about BBMP officials pasting stickers on doors of residents who weren't really available for the survey. Now, that has also raised questions on whether it's being carried out accurately or not.
That's right. BBMP and the Chief Minister declaring that those stickers were only meant to ensure that people respond, register online their details and documents, but nevertheless a BJP Congress exchange. Listen in.
When Siddaramaiah already has spent more than 160 crores, why is he going for a second census? When central government has already taken decision to do census and caste census across the country, what is necessary for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to spend more 500 crores on this caste census? Why is he in a hurry? So Siddaramaiah, the intention of Siddaramaiah is very clear. Caste census, Siddaramaiah is using it as a tool to save his CM's kursi.
ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ ಥರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೋ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆಯಾ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆಯಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಪ್ಪ ಏನಾದ್ರು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆಯಾ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಹೇಳು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಈ ದಾರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ದಾರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ ಜಾತಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅದು ಪರಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ಜಾತಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪರಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ಜಾತಿ 101 ಜಾತಿಗಳಿವೆ ಪರಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ಜಾತಿ ಪರಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ವರ್ಗ.
Well, it's big breaking news from the world of cricket, Vasudha. Shubham Gill's historic double 100.
And he's the only sixth Indian captain to score 200. In fact, Shubman Gill leads the charge for India. This has happened in England. Rika joins us with more details on this. Rika, explain to us the importance of Shubman Gill's achievement today. He has really scripted history.
Well, it is a history scripted indeed, because he becomes the first Indian captain to score a double ton in England. There has been many records along the way, but I have to talk to you about the quality of the double 100 that was scored in Birmingham. Perfect batting conditions at Edgbaston, and Shubman Gill batted most of yesterday, the first session today. It's into the second session that he has now scored his double ton. It is indeed a very, very memorable moment for India. Remember, in the last test, he scored 100. Despite that, India lost. And this test, it seemed that he has come out with the intent of not just leading India from the front, but leading India to to a victory. And that's what the Indian batters are trying to do by piling up runs. 474 is what India has got as of now for 6 wickets. Shubman along the way had a double century partnership with Ravindra Jadeja. He's had 2 half-century partnerships as well. There are some beautiful strokes he's played along the covers, along the extra cover, along different regions of the ground, and he has set up a perfect test match for India.
Right, no cover from the Gill, double century there, Rika. He's on top of the test hill right now. Thanks very much. But now back to our world of politics, to our special focus this evening. The DMK seems all set to jump into poll mode. In fact, it has already jumped in, with Chief Minister MK Stalin launching a door-to-door campaign for enrollment in the party. The ambitious aim is to enroll 30% of the state's electorate, Vasudha, as party workers and get the grand old party set for 2026. But is this an early start for an edge or a sign of nervousness in the grand old Dravidian party of the changing political landscape there?
There are multiple sides to it, and that's a big question we will pose to the panel this evening, Veera. There are multiple other questions as well, including if there is a potential TVK-AIDMK alliance changing demographics in the state, which has, of course, seen a sharp rise in voters, young voters specifically. Chief Minister MK Stalin, who launched the campaign that you were talking about, going door-to-door, reiterating the Dravidian emotional message of land, language, and self-respect, Tamil unity, but also making it clear that this is an outreach campaign and not an effort to force any voter to join the DMK.
Well, the field is set for the big Dravidian battle. Key questions, as you pointed out, in that state. Do the old arithmetic and rules remain defiant in that landscape, or will 2026 see a churning? To my mind, that's the key question that 2026 will answer. Joining us this evening, A. Saravanan of the DMK, Kovai Satyan of the AIADMK, and Dr. Arun Raj, General Secretary of the TVK. Let me begin for a change with the newest entrant in that field. The DMK seems all set, Dr. Arun Raj, with a strategy in place and door-to-door campaign. The AIADMK and EPS are set to launch their Yatra. Is the TVK still lagging behind in getting its act together? Star power alone is often not enough in electoral politics. Dr. Arun Raj, my question was to you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah, good evening all. See, you mentioned nervousness. I would say it is being nervous is an understatement. DMK is in a state of total panic because it is a 70-year-old party. Membership rate, that too some survey before the election shows clearly one day.
There's some audio issues with your... We need to sort this audio issue. Let me go across to A. Saravanan of the DMK first now. A. Saravanan, is it a sign of confident early start, or is there a sense of nervousness that possibly youth and the TVK's arrival could change the landscape in Tamil Nadu?
See, whenever it is an election, we take the election very, very seriously, whatever may be the issue. So in that sense, the Chief Minister has started the campaign, all the elections, 2016, 2019, 2021, we have started early because that is the importance we give out to reaching out to people. See, if you look at the last 4 years, we have performed very well. As several times I've pointed out, the GDP of Tamil Nadu is hovering around 9.69%, which will give a snapshot of how we have managed the economy in spite of doling out so many welfare measures. The welfare measures are totally aimed at women and children and their education. So this has created a very, very pro-incumbency wave in favor of the DMK party. And compare and contrast this with the ADMK and the BJP. They are not even able to sort out who's going to, whether it is a coalition government or it is going to be the ADMK chief minister. Of course, Mr. Amit Shah is saying there is going to be an ADMK chief minister, but he says it is going to be a coalition government. Every single press meet, every single statement given out by Mr. Amit Shah, he says it is a coalition government. But in the state of Tamil Nadu, they don't accept, they won't vote for coalition governments. And on top of that, Mr. H. Raja is rubbing salt on the wound. He's saying it is going to be an NDA-headed government. That is what he's saying. So they are not even able to sort out the issues between them. Whether it is what kind of a government is that, the alliance is not solid at all, and the chemistry isn't working on the ground. It is not working at all.
Alliance talks about Orennial Tamil Nadu clearly talks about a united Tamil Nadu. You're talking about ideological issues. You're talking about, the fight against the center. But when it comes to bread and butter issues, there will be questions that will be asked about of the DMK government. How are you going to sort of address that?
See, that's what when we speak about the bread and butter issues, we are pretty well placed.
They are becoming major issues.
Yes.
See, that's what I'll come to that. See, bread and butter, we are pretty well placed because of the welfare measures. The 1,000 rupee scheme for all the women, eligible women, is a super hit scheme and which has captured the imagination. See, traditionally, women voters, when Vijay Jayalalitha was there, they preferred ADMK. But all of them have shifted their base to DMK after how we have brought in schemes which aim at the welfare of the women. And when we speak of law and order, it is just a perception. The ADMK and the BJP is trying to create a perception that all is not well on the law and order front. But you look at cold hard facts. The DMK government is faring well. Custodial deaths, there are only 4. When you compare that,
you have one advantage in this discussion, Saravanan. The problem is that both TVK and AIDMK spokespersons' lines have gone and we are not able to get them through. Arun Raj is back in, I believe, joining us. Arun Raj, my question to you, I started with you. My question was very clear. The DMK seems to have set its campaign agenda. The AIDMK is launching off. The TVK, is it lagging behind? Is it relying too much on Vijay star power, which often in electoral politics is not enough alone? Respond.
No, yeah. Thank you. See, first you mentioned that the early starter is a sign of nervousness. I would say nervousness is an understatement. DMK is in a state of total panic. A 70-year-old party starting a membership drive. Imagine. See, it denotes only one thing. DMK has lost its support base by nearly 50%. So this is the present scenario here. When TVK was launched, when our leader started this membership drive, it is the only party where the server crashed because of this huge drive for this to get the membership of TVK. Now we have crossed nearly 1 crore registered voters. See, one thing you should clearly understand: DMK by its money power can enroll few voters, but there's a key difference. It is like a mobilized crowd for a DMK public meeting. All this crowd comes for what? For money and something. But it doesn't mean that they will vote for DMK. Whereas all those voters who are become members for this TVK are core supporters of TVK, and they are 100% voters for TVK, and they support this TVK leaders because of this strong ideological connect. DMK, I would say why, I would like to elaborate why DMK has lost its support base. Because DMK has compromised states' autonomy, states' rights, because of its failures, because of its corruption charges against key ministers to the union government. So also this corruption.
Nervous, DMK not nervous but in panic mode, says Arun Raj. Saravanan.
Yeah. See, he was talking about the servers crashing. Probably they should first invest in robust infrastructure, then work about the party. They're not even able to maintain their servers, and they expect they're going to serve the people of this country. Not possible.
Because of this demand, unprecedented demand.
Yeah.
Mr. Saravanan,
it shows your poor planning. It shows your poor planning. It shows your poor planning. So allow me to speak. See, they are speaking about corruption. See, one of the allegations that they are making against DMK is that DMK is a corrupt party. There are corruption. They are having Mr. Who is that gentleman? He's the son-in-law of Lottery Martin. He's the main man there.
See, no,
they're not corruption allegations. ED is investigating him. Enforcement Directorate is investigating him.
Whom?
And he is the right hand man of Mr. Vijay. And
Mr. Saravanan,
kindly eloquence.
Okay, Mr. Arun Raj, there is at least this feeling.
Corruption. What a big joke is
Okay,
this?
Mr. Arun Raj, there's at least this feeling that the Chief Minister is making himself accessible by going door to door. It's not a very easy thing to do, you know, after 5 years. The accessibility thing, yesterday, 2 days ago, he in fact came out and spoke on custodial deaths. The fact that the Chief Minister is speaking about these things, don't you think that is something that people will like?
See, that's what I'm saying. He himself volunteering and going and to meet people. There is no demand from the people's side. People are not willing to meet him. He himself is going there as an unwanted, he's unwelcoming guest. Like people feel like that. Whereas you see, when our TVK leader comes, see that amount of public response, amount of love people shower upon him. Families after families come on their move. Absolutely, without any mobilization, any efforts on the part of our party, people come. That's the difference. Because people know, people clearly understand this. After 4 years of DMK government, DMK has earned such anti-incumbency that every day DMK continues now. It will benefit more and more. The DMK voters will shun the DMK party. Secondly, I would really welcome this step, because when DMK cadres go to every household, people will start asking questions on them. What are the promises you made during this 21 elections and how much you delivered on it? What is it? The dynastic rule, people are really fed up with it. People are going to question. See, I'm really,
I'm really out of time right now. Very briefly, Saravanan, definitely, while you may sound confident, there must be a worry about what the impact Vijay will create. You may be assuming a 2006 Vijay, he could throw the ball, hit the ball out of the park as well.
See, that has never happened in the history of Indian politics, except for Mr. N.T. Rama Rao. For the people of Tamil Nadu to take someone seriously, they'll have to be here, present at least 5 to 10 years. Then only they'll take you seriously. We have seen so many people coming and going. Let Mr. Vijay, he is a star and he has some value. Let him start appearing before the public 15 times, 20 times. Then we'll see where that magic goes, where that magic vanishes. We have seen all this. So we know what to do, how to go about it.
Okay, Kovai Satyan of the AIDMK is with us. Kovai Satyan, how do you look at MK Stalin reaching out to people, doing a door-to-door campaign? Is it finally time for you to, shake hands with the TVK because the Chief Minister is finally starting this campaign?
He's joined the debate late. Is the AIDMK late in launching its campaign?
Door-to-door canvassing, which is ongoing for the last couple of months. And our cadre registered strength is now 2 crore and 6 lakhs, which is 30% of the eligible voters population. And the point is clear, there is nothing to talk as an achievement. What will you do by door-to-door campaign? This is an organized way of corrupting people. At the time of elections, you have seen political parties giving away money to the voters, bribing voters with money. That is what they have started now. See, the promise was 1,000 rupees to every household, every women household. That was thrown out of air. Out of 3.25 crore women, only 1 crore became eligible. Since the election is around the corner, now all the riders and clauses were taken out, and the door-to-door campaign by DMK is a farce. Their only agenda is to enroll the women in the family so that they can dole out the 1,000 rupees for another 6 months till election is there. There is nothing but bribing voters. That's what they are doing right now. To bribe voters, they are taking the women's names by door-to-door campaign, in the name of door-to-door campaign. That shows how desperate they are. There is nothing to talk about as achievement. What is the DMK's achievement? Zero. They will be happy if they are not being chased out. That's what the reality is going to be. On the ground, there is a very high anti-incumbency. There is nothing to boast as achievements. Every individual is not happy in Tamil Nadu. Particularly women and children are not happy with the law and order situation, which is in shambles. With the escalation of inflation, with the escalation of essential commodities and prices, with unemployment, and so many issues which is affecting a common man. And electricity is once again hiked by 3% yesterday. So there's nothing to boast as an achievement by DMK.
Kovai Satyan, you made your last point on this debate. Unfortunately, I've completely run out of time. Let's see who has the last laugh at the end of 2026. 10 seconds. Go ahead, Saravanan, 10 seconds.
Yeah. See, they're talking about the anti-incumbency here. They're allying with the BJP. What about the anti-incumbency of the BJP? 10 years of anti-incumbency and the anti-Tamil stance. How are they going to overcome that?
You will have
absolutely impossible.
You will have enough time to ask these questions in the 2026 campaign. They'll
Yes.
have enough time. Okay, 10 seconds to you, Arun Raj, in all fairness. Quick, 10-second response.
See here. This is what people of Tamil Nadu, as a common citizen, everybody is looking for change. They are really fed up. So when 26 is coming, people are ready to vote TVK to power. Then I would just like to add only one thing. We are going to launch a second phase of enrollment, where our target is to enroll 2 cadre voters to reach 2 crore families. And unlike DMK or other parties,
Sir, ask your leader first to step out of Panayor. Ask your leader first to step out of Panayor.
You know, Vasudha, the
Please,
political
let him
noise
meet
in
the
Tamil
public.
Nadu only getting
Yeah.
more intense with all the star entrants and the political parties getting ready for the campaign there.
Absolutely, Veeran. We'll have a lot of time to discuss this because Tamil Nadu elections are only next year. But now it's time for a short break. We'll see you on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
Prime Minister Modi hails India's democracy in Ghana. Prime Minister Modi says India's democracy is a ray of hope in the world. Pakistani hockey team likely to be in India. Government sources have said they won't stop Pakistan team from visiting India. Government sources have also said that it is possible to block YouTube channels, not the Pakistani team. Ministry sources have said that it is not against multilateral competition. Mahacop's flimsy excuse to protect goons. Cops have said no arrest possible under sections in FIR. 4 out of 7 accused have reached police station. In a horrific incident in Pune, intruder rapes a woman in a housing society. Man entered the society in the guise of a delivery boy. Pune cops, meanwhile, have formed 10 teams to find the accused.
Fenesta Windows, beautiful and durable designs. इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Find Finer Fenesta.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out of it.
Gold Plus Clear Glass. Far ho ya near, सब कुछ दिखे clear. Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools and lead with impact. Starts July 13th. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers.
If it matters to you, 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 it matters to India, it matters to India, it matters to India, it matters to India, and it matters to me, and it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru, only on NDTV 24/7.
I want to come now to the AMCA. I want to get into that because it is from the AMCA that this entire situation is what it is and why we're talking about it. The fact that the AMCA isn't here.
No.
The AMCA is a long way off.
It's virtual reality.
And 2 days, Vishnu, 2 days after Operation Sindoor is when the government cleared what is called the execution model for the AMCA, which basically meant that the private sector and the public sector could compete to build and develop the AMCA. But forget that. Forget about who's going to build and develop it. Where are we with the AMCA and how far away is it?
The first prototype rollout was planned for late next year. I'd be very surprised if that takes place. The first flight was supposed to take place in the late 2028. I'll be very surprised if that takes place. There is funding for at least 5 prototypes. I think there is more money being given for more prototypes. Certification scheduled for 2032, right? And induction starts from 2034. That's the best case situation as of now.
Yeah.
Now, this means that Pakistan, once they start acquiring the J-35 at some stage this year, assuming that they get even 10 every year, it'll be actually at a faster rate, they would be operating stealth aircraft for 10 years, a full decade before India starts acquiring our first one. And with this being our first platform, the AMCA has to really deliver.
Yeah.
It has to be current. And remember, the Chinese have gone beyond the 5th generation. This is not going to be something we spend billions on to make it a Pakistan-centric platform. It needs to be China-specific as well and Pakistan-specific. And therefore, what the Air Chief said the other day when he was, I think, addressing industry was very important. The AMCA has to be of the current generation when it comes online.
Which is 9 years from now.
Starting induction in about 10 years from now. Starting. Best case scenario, right? It's 2025, 2035 is what the best case scenario is. Now, therefore, let's not get stuck on the word 5th generation.
Yeah.
Why? Because the Chinese have already, with their J-36 and J-50, 2 brand new platforms gone beyond 5th generation. There's a big debate in the AvGeek community that, why don't we still call them 5th generation? Others say, no, it's a 6th generation platform. It doesn't matter. The reason this debate is happening, right, on what generation they are, is because they are fundamentally different platforms.
Yeah.
Welcome back now to the ugly and heated exchange in Andhra politics. The tragic death of a YSRC worker on wheels of former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy's vehicle at a public function remains a sharp political exchange now. While the government has filed an FIR against Jagan Reddy in the case and seized his vehicle, the family of the victim has claimed that TDP workers had forced them to file this case.
Well, that statement, Vasudha, came after Jagan Mohan Reddy visited the family and Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu hit out at Jagan Reddy of quote-unquote managing the victim's family, insinuating that his visit put them under pressure to make allegations against the TDP. It's an ugly political exchange over a tragic incident. We have both the YSRCP and TDP spokespersons for a face-off up ahead. But first, listen in to N. Chandrababu Naidu.
పోతుంటే కారు కింద మనిషి పడిపోతే వాళ్ళ కార్యకర్తే పడిపోతే తీసి కుక్క పిల్ల మారుగా బయట పడేసి నేరుగా వెళ్ళిపోతే సకాలానికి హాస్పిటల్ తీసుకుపోలేక అతను చనిపోతే ఆయన భార్యని పిలిపించి యాజ్ యూజువల్ మేనేజ్ చేసి మా ఆయనకు కారు కింద పడితే ఏమీ కాలేదు అంబులెన్స్ లో తీసుకపోతే ఏదో అయిపోయిందని చెప్పి పరిస్థితి వచ్చారంటే ఈ నేరస్తుల్ని ఏమనాల తమ్ముళ్ళు అని మిమ్మల్ని అడుగుతున్నా. ఎన్ని డ్రామాలు నా జీవితంలో ఎప్పుడు చూడలేదు. కోడి కత్తి డ్రామా, కడానా కోడికత్తి డ్రామా కూడా నా మీద పెట్టే పరిస్థితి, గులకరాయి డ్రామా.
Veera, it's really sad that the death has already happened. There's so much politics that's playing out over this death. Deepak Reddy Gunapati of the TDP joins us. We also have Karthik Yellaprakada of the YSRCP joining us. Thank you both of you for being part of this broadcast. Deepak, to you first. Who really politicized this? Because I understand that the Chief Minister spoke about this only yesterday, but the YSRCP is saying that the police acted against them in a biased fashion, and it was just a former Chief Minister visiting the victim's family. What's wrong with that?
Ma'am, I would like about a half minute uninterrupted time, because I would like to totally expose the YCP party and see to that the truth comes out and it's put in front of the people. YSRCP party, the leadership, is one of the worst you can come across in politics, and they have mastered the art of political terrorism. If you see, once the incident took place, they said it was hit by, the person was hit by one of the convoy car. And then once the video came out after 3 days, they had nothing to do. Then they said it was a morphed video. And then the report came out saying that the video was original. And then clearly all the people sitting in the car knew that the car ran over the person, and they just threw the person in the side in the bushes, didn't even take him to the hospital. And once the issue got to the people and there was total public outrage, now they started covering up their, saying that, we have given him some compensation of 10 lakhs. Jagan Mohan Reddy is A2 in the case, and the case is now pending in the court. Once the case is being heard by the court, how can an accused go and meet the victim's family? And you can see in the video which came out in the press, somebody from the side are prompting to that lady saying that, you talk like this. And this is exactly the modus operandi what YCP party follows. If you see, when they killed their own uncle, brutally, the next day they said it was a heart attack, and then the following day in their own paper, they come out and say that Chandrababu Naidu ji with an axe in their paper saying that he attacked him.
You've had your first minute of uninterrupted time. Let Karthik respond to what you've said. Karthik, please respond to the allegation that Deepak is making, that as accused to, you go and meet a victim, and then it is under your pressure that they have made the allegation against the TDP. Respond.
This has been an historic problem in the state. So Mr. Chandrababu Naidu repeatedly refers drama, and that's why we say TDP, and that's Telugu Drama Party. It's not for the people. The painful thing is we've lost a very loyal supporter of us. That woman, who happens to be his wife, she was scared. 50 people, where our reports say that Mr. Lokesh's team and ITDP or TDP's team has come and forced her after the accident has happened. And she herself has come towards our leader, Jagan Mohan Reddy, to express that grief and concern that she has doubts. Now, the question we got to be asking is, what's the doubt there? The person who was hit by a 3,000 kilograms of vehicle, and there is no autopsy report as of yet, and then the Panchnama report, as I see just now, they just wrote that there were minor injuries. And the main report is yet to come. And then 50 people coming towards her home, and then trying to, persuade her, and she tried to express that concern. And now let's look at this from a humane angle. The person is a loyal supporter, we have lost him. And now the Honorable High Court has given a stay. And the Politburo member of the same party, Mr. Varla Ramaya, comes out and even, downplays the honorable judgment. That's a contempt of court. And what we're doing with the judicial process in our state. And that's why we don't have constitution. And I don't want to play politics here. The whole point is, let's think from this humane angle. The gentle lady has all the doubts now, and she's expressing that concern. Let's look at that from that standpoint.
Made your points. Both of you said you don't want to play politics, but it's ultimately become a political issue and a political exchange. My colleague Uma Sudhir has this report. Let's just listen into this before we come back to the political spokespersons.
So all the political din is right now about a death, discord and demagoguery, with all the political parties attacking each other sharply, stirring up emotions and increasing tensions in an already politically surcharged atmosphere. That's what Andhra Pradesh has always been. Chili Singaya's case has become even more something that has raised political tempers because it was the death of a man, of course, and then the visuals were very, very emotionally kind of disturbing because you saw a man coming under the wheels of a car and apparently the leader had gone away and left him to die. That's what the TDP and the police have said. And subsequently, after Chili Singaya's wife and family met Jagan Mohan Reddy, she starts to question, doubt the circumstances in which her husband has died, and she even points fingers at the TDP and says that Lokesh's men, she alleges, had come to her place and she had felt intimidated, she says. Chandrababu Naidu reacted to it, saying that Jagan Mohan Reddy and his party had left their own party worker to die almost like a dog, is what he said. And subsequently, he also said that they had managed to, as usual, manage the wife. And he also said that they had tried to divert the blame on the TDP, just like they had done in the case of the attack, as is very popularly called Kodikatti case, in which they had tried to divert the blame onto Chandrababu Naidu and his party. YSRCP has now reacted to this once again, saying that Chandrababu Naidu has compared a Dalit to a dog, is what they allege. AI has also been used in order to defame Jagan because they allege that he is getting popular and Naidu was feeling jealous of that. So you have a death, you have a Dalit angle, you have also the allegation that AI has been used to create proof in this particular case.
Remarks from both our spokespersons. Deepak Reddy, why see something like a outreach to a worker's family as whitewashing of crime? What would be the TDP's defense of this?
One tries to hide it, it cannot be hid. Just 3 points and I would totally expose YCP. Once the incident took place, all the members in the car clearly knew that there was a man who was under the tire. They did not come out with the truth and accept it for 3 days till when the video actually came out. And once the video came out, they were caught off guard. So then another video came out where the person was actually talking. So he was okay. So if they would have not thrown him in the bushes and would have rushed him to the hospital, which was close by, a life would have been saved. To hide this, this is the evil political drama what these people are playing.
Karthik, your response to that, yeah. Karthik.
Yeah, I have to respond to that. So this keep coming again and again. Why there was no ambulance in that?
And even the court angle, once it's in the court, you should not go. You should not go to the family of the
I should get my share of mine.
Yes.
Yeah. The point is why there was no ambulance in the convoy. What would have happened if there was an ambulance? Why there was no protocol given? Why there was no rope party? Why there were no enough police around? And what
the question is, why didn't you people take him to the hospital after running them down? So that's the question to be asked.
The question to be asked is, who has allowed that thus much of a crowd approaching to the convoy? Who should stop that? Who should stop that? That's under the state police.
Clearly, the permission was not given by the police. You people have mobilized the crowds. The police have asked you to go, not go in a convoy. The police have clearly laid down the rules.
There was no pilot given. Who should signal that the convoy should be stopped? Who should signal the convoy should be stopped?
It was your rally. It's the question of what happened after that. There are multiple questions, and I think the deepest question of it all, Vasudha, ultimately is about the political culture.
Yes.
And why this kind of an incident can happen and why party workers tend to crowd so much around convoys and rallies. All politicians will accept that this is like an incident that's waiting to happen given the kind of way in which convoys travel through huge crowds.
Absolutely, and all leaders, including the former Chief Minister of Andhra, should have taken care to ensure that these numbers don't spill over and an incident like this doesn't happen. And of course, the politicization of a death is clearly shocking and something that should have been completely avoided. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Moving on to the other important story today, in a shocking instance of VIP high-handedness, Veera, a senior bureaucrat in Odisha, BMC Additional Commissioner Ratnakar Sahu was brutally assaulted in broad daylight. We saw the video a few days ago, and this was allegedly over a phone call that he made to a BJP leader there. Remember, BJP is also the ruling party in Odisha. The attackers, believed to be political workers, stormed into his office, dragged him out by his collar and punched and kicked him in full public view. This was something that was clearly humiliating for not just him but also to all his colleagues.
How on earth can we allow this to happen? As visuals went viral and outrage mounted, 3 of the 6 accused were arrested. But the storm had already hit. Officers from the Odisha Administrative Service and Odisha Revenue Service have threatened to go on a mass leave. Their demand is clear: the arrest of BJP leader Jagannath Pradhan, who they allege was behind the assault. Pradhan denies involvement, calls the allegations politically motivated and says he's ready to cooperate with the police.
Well, meanwhile, the BJP has suspended 5 workers, including a corporator, but the bureaucracy isn't convinced. The man in question here, Jagannath Pradhan, admitted that he knows some of the men that were involved in the assault, but at the heart of this is a question: if an officer inside his office is not safe from political muscle, what does that say about administrative independence is an important question.
That's right, and this is not an isolated incident, Vasudha. The culture of impunity, as you pointed out, needs to be challenged and questioned.
Yes, Veera, there have been many instances of this, from Himachal Pradesh, where a Congress minister assaulted highways official, to Uttar Pradesh, where an MLA was accused of using his men to assault a passenger on Vande Bharat just because he did not part with his seat. That is what we discussed today. Impunity is seriously something that we need to talk about. We will be joined by a panel of guests, but we'll also have Saurabh Gupta, my colleague who tracks Odisha very closely. Saurabh, explain to us the latest update in this case. This incident happened a few days ago. What has happened since then? The mass leave that was issued, that was a threat that was issued by the government officials. Is it on? How are the political parties reacting to this?
Well, Naveen Patnaik issued a very strong statement. Naveen Patnaik is, of course, the BJD, Biju Janata Dal chief and also the former chief minister. But this is something that's become a bit of an issue, with bureaucrats also now pressing for the arrest of the main accused, who clearly has assured cooperation. But the bureaucrats obviously saying that if his men are involved in this, then, and if the reason for assaulting this officer in such a brutal manner, as you can see in these visuals, was because there was some sort of insult to him, then obviously why should he not be arrested? And that's the deputation that they submitted to the Chief Minister of Odisha, Mohan Majhi. Now, he hasn't been arrested yet, and which is why Mr. Pradhan's arrest has become a bone of contention. The Odisha bureaucrats are continuing their protest, and that's something that's affecting government work as well, because remember, this is a time where there are floods in certain places in Odisha. It's also a very busy time of the year because of the Jagannath Rath Yatra. So all of these things are perhaps important to note, but at the same time, how do people get away with assaulting bureaucrats, with assaulting others? And especially if you're a politically connected person, why should the law not apply equally on you? That's the question I think everyone's asking.
Okay.
The fact, Vasudha, that somebody can walk into a government office and do this itself is scary. The fact that it can happen, that's the scary aspect.
Absolutely. Santrup Mishra, Political Secretary to the BJD President, Shri Naveen Patnaik, and also Professor Geeta Bhatt, who's a political analyst, and Dr. Hamid Hussain, spokesperson of the Congress Party, joining us now. Thank you, all of you, for joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Mishra, to you first. What is the BJD, sir, doing about this? You've all been talking about anarchy in different forms, but is the BJD planning to launch an agitation? What is the BJD, as the primary opposition party, doing about this?
Thank you so much for having me on your program. So first of all, let me say that in incidents of this kind, we all need to rise above politics. This is not about politics. There are 3 fundamental questions of principle that arise here. Number 1, can violence be used in a democracy as a legitimate instrument by political parties? Question number 2, when it is a matter of protecting members of a political party versus upholding law and order, for which a government has been sworn in under oath, which one do they choose? And finally and lastly, if it is a choice between protecting members of a political party, which is also the ruling party, vis-a-vis protecting the employees of the government, who are your employees through whom you do development, which one do you choose? And I think these are questions of principle. I'm sorry to say that in 24 years of Sri Naveen Patnaik's government, there were such cases never there in Odisha. He never dealt with leniency or discrimination. And it is sad that this is happening. And let me just point out one other thing. This is the culmination, or rather the extreme manifestation of a trend that has been there. And with your permission, I would like to quote a letter that Odisha Administrative Service Association has
Mr.
written
Mishra,
to its
but
members,
has the BJD ever
and
taken
while
action
appealing to
against
the government to
somebody
take action.
in your own party? Has the BJD ever taken action against, one of your own? Because that is something that political parties don't do often.
If you look at the track record of Naveen Patnaik's government, the entire 24 years, anytime there have been allegations of any kind against ministers, legislators, he has never hesitated to take strongest action against all of them, including dropping them if necessary from his own cabinet or council of ministers. I think during his tenure, there was a law and order, there was discipline, there was development. All of it was possible because he did not compromise on principles, even if these were members of his own party.
Professor Geeta Bhatt, respond. This impunity is unacceptable.
Well, you see, if any kind of offense, a physical assault has been done on any government officer, irrespective of whether which party is in government, I think it is very important that an action must be taken by the government as per the legal norms. And it is unfortunate to know that this kind of, a manhandling, beating of an officer was done in Odisha. And as one can see that the party has taken a very quick action of suspending those who were involved in this case, as along with it, the corporator from Bhubaneswar, even he has been suspended from the party. They have been arrested. So the legal action, the due course has been taken by the government there. And I'm sure that as per the legal course which will be taken up, whatever is punishment would be given to those who are accused. But at the same time, I think it is important that we need to look at such, this kind of a trend that has happened when, people who come into power, they start feeling that, they can get away with impunity. And kindly give me, I want to just come with the same kind of an incident that has happened in Himachal Pradesh, where the Congress government is
Dr. Hussain, at least in UP, the person, the assaulting MLA was given a show cause notice by the BJP. In Odisha also, this particular person, Mr. Pradhan, Jagannath Pradhan, was asked to at least appear before the state president. But nothing of that sort has happened in Himachal Pradesh. So high-handedness is not really limited to a BJP ruling state, isn't it?
Rightly said, that is a very shocking incident. I mean, it is deplorable. It has to be condemned, and action has to be taken. I don't think, in regard to Orissa, I'm telling you, I'm from Orissa, and I'm speaking to you from Orissa only. In regard to Orissa, never such things have happened in Orissa. There is a political, political neutrality as far as the bureaucracy is concerned. That political neutrality is gone. There's a modus operandi of BJP has been, to terrorize the officers and ask them to toe the line for illegal favor. That is what the BJP is doing. It is not one isolated incident about Jagannath Pradhan. This case happened at airport also, where one, Gomesh Khandelwal, one RSS man had come and he was being harassed and he was beaten up. And the case is pending against him in the airport. The second incident also happened a month back, which is, in the Odisha Housing Board Society, where Jagannath Pradhan's men went there and vandalized the office and terrorized the officers. This is the typical way or modus operandi of BJP to terrorize the officers, to throw the line for illegal favor, for contracts or whatever, or pecuniary benefits, or, to suppress the entire system. I'll tell you, the person is being favored and the party is not taking action as per the law, because the sections that are involved, you see, say 353, there are 221, 321, 307, 34, all these sections are not involved in. When a fire is lost, the police people are trying to favor and try to hush up things. Like it is, they have obstructed an officer from doing his duty. They have vandalized the office. He is being dragged out. He is crashed, and there is attempt to murder, and there is an injury also. All the sections have to be included. No, and the police is also trying to protect, because he is very close to the cabinet minister. He was the candidate, BJP candidate from Central central this place, central Bhubaneswar, and he's a very senior leader.
What are
and
you
such
hearing
leaders
from
are able to do it this way, and the party supports, and party doesn't take action. Party has to take action, government has to take action.
What are bureaucrats telling you?
The entire system has come to a standstill. The entire system.
The fact is that there has to be a certain sense of security. It's unimaginable that a bureaucrat, a senior one, sitting in his office can be pulled out by thugs belonging to a political party and be assaulted like this. And this is something that's, they say, is clearly dented the morale of the serving officers, and therefore their protest is continuing. And the deputation to the Chief Minister is also to press upon him that there needs to be visible action, especially not just against the foot soldiers, but against the person whom they believe is the reason why this attack on this bureaucrat took place. So in that context, they want action against the main accused, and they're pressing for it, and they're continuing their protest as well till that part of their demand is actually addressed.
Mishra, there seems to be no action, agitation from the BJD's point of view, because all oppositional action is being done by the Congress party in Orissa. So where are these? There needs to be some sense of political resonance with these agitating officials. What is the BJD, how is the BJP looking at this issue politically?
No, BJD is absolutely condemning and is with the officers who are agitating. We have been widely circulating all our support, and on the ground we know what is going to happen. We have been demanding about arrest of Jagannath Pradhan and anybody else who are involved in this incident. But you stopped me at a point where I was going to quote you. This is culmination. There is a trend. And the OS Officers Association has written, and I quote, "The incident is not an isolated one, and it is being observed that a narrative has been set up for past 1 year to humiliate government servants and even resorting to bodily threat, physical assault and mental agony." Unquote. If there is such a statement from government employees, I would expect every government that is sensible to go into the details to find out what is the ground reality.
Absolutely,
Unfortunately, this government remains silent on this subject.
Right. Thank you all of you for joining us on this broadcast. Veera, clearly this is not an isolated incident. It is about not letting the law be bent by those who hold power in multiple instances across the country. Something really tells us that that needs to be checked.
That's right. Political power and the brazen misuse of it and impunity, irrespective of which political party, needs to be questioned. But that's all we have time for on the Southern View. News and updates continue right here on NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi leaving for Trinidad and Tobago, leaving this evening. I look forward to attending a community program in Port of Spain.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
फिनिस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Fine, finer, Finesta.
a 36-hour non-stop flight
18
by a
into two.
small pack of B-2s. A lot of other aircraft were also involved, we know that. But let's talk about the B-2 flight itself. They took off from Missouri. 36 hours later, they landed back without once landing. They delivered their bombs 18 hours later over Iran and then came back. How was this possible? Because the Department of Defense says at no point of time on this 36-hour journey was there any reason to believe that they were either detected or reacted to.
Well, they weren't detected, because if they were, then they'd be in some serious trouble. It's one of the most unbelievable missions, one of the most historic long-range strike missions. There were 7 B-2s, which by B-2 standards is a fair number of them. There was deception in the very beginning. There was a sense that some of them were flying west across the Pacific. In fact, they weren't. And even if a few planes were positioned in one area, they were not going to be flying the Pacific route.
That was the big distraction.
On social media said, you see the bombers, they're now flying west, so you know what's coming your way. But no. They flew them east across the Atlantic. There were 125 aircraft in total involved. Refuelers were involved at every stage. There were fighter aircraft which linked up 4th generation and 5th generation planes, 5th generation being stealth aircraft. And then after an 18-hour flight one way, right, shortly before they struck their targets, which was primarily Fordo, using a remarkable weapon which we'll talk about called the GBU-57, 30,000-pound weapon.
Monster.
Before that took place, there were several land attack cruise missiles launched from American submarines and possibly destroyers as well. Possibly in the Persian Gulf. Submarines, they don't tell us a location that could be as far out.
The American media says it was one submarine called the USS Georgia.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी
This is one of the most dramatic things I've seen, and it landed just before this broadcast. Israel and Iran have stopped firing missiles at each other, but I want to use this video before I begin my show today of a missile landing right in the middle of traffic. This is in Iran's capital of Tehran, where traffic in gridlock decimated after a missile lands right in the middle of it. We don't know exactly when this happened, but clearly videos of the conflict between Iran and Israel slowly spilling out, and this very, very unsettling video in the heart of Iran is our opening image, and I will return to it on the show and tell you a little bit more about it. It in 24 hours, my friends, since I named the 5 MNS cowards who shamefully assaulted and slapped a Hindi-speaking shopkeeper on the outskirts of Mumbai. Since NDTV decided to take up this story, something powerful has happened in the country. This is no longer just a local incident from Mumbai's suburbs. This has struck a chord, a national chord. People across the country have joined NDTV's campaign against politically connected thugs like these MNS cowards who assault ordinary citizens with impunity and swagger, often knowing that they are being recorded because it actually increases their value within their parties. This is the depth of their arrogance, but it ends this week. Tonight, we are calling out not just the cowardice of the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, which is currently on social media trying to attack NDTV and say that we are not showing the full story when we are, but the men who raise their hands on a helpless shopkeeper have not been arrested just yet. We are also tonight calling out the Maharashtra government, a government that has promised action, a government that has issued all the usual statements, and yet a government that is clearly reluctant to act with real force of the law. Because they fear possibly a backlash. They fear the pushback of so-called Marathi pride in an already fragile and turbulent political space. One of their ministers, one of the Devendra Fadnavis government ministers, Yogesh Kadam, shockingly today even seemed to justify the MNS violence by saying, in Maharashtra, you have to speak Marathi. If you don't know Marathi, your attitude shouldn't be that you won't speak Marathi. In other words, is a minister in the Fadnavis government basically saying that if a person has an attitude he doesn't agree with, then violence is okay? It's okay to slap him? This is the cynical attitude that the real people of Maharashtra are tired of, and everyone in India feels it. Maharashtra, let's make no mistake, is one of India's most cosmopolitan, most friendly, most hospitable, and most proud states. Mumbai is one of the most inclusive cities, not just in India, but on earth. The people of this state are now rising against the criminality that has long been enabled by a toxic legacy of political violence. A legacy carved into public life by the Senas and now allowed to fester and grow by leaders who choose silence over spine. These slaps that you've seen captured in that troubling video are not new, but something is different this time, isn't it? I know you feel it. These slaps have touched a nerve across this country, a nerve that will not settle again, whether it is a former Uddhav Sena MP whose men dispensed their own brand of vigilante justice to shopkeepers, or these MNS thugs literally trying to break down the door of a family in Pune over a Facebook post. India is watching and India is angry. We are saying to these men that your mob mentality, your comfort with violence, your open fearlessness of the law will be met with possibly bone-breaking consequences if citizens take matters into their own hands. And we are saying to your political patrons and enablers that the buck stops with them, that we will hold them accountable as we have done here on NDTV for normalizing this rot, for nurturing these cowards, for applauding their performative violence in the name of identity pride politics. Because every one of those slaps felt personal, and India will not be sitting down again. Not this time, not ever.
They beat, they brag, they remain brazen, and the cops and government keep dragging their feet. The Gunda Raj continues unchecked. 2 days have passed since the MNS goons beat a lone shopkeeper inside his shop. The video went viral. It triggered outrage, but the system is unmoved. Despite an FIR being filed against all 7 accused, not a single arrest has been made yet. Adding insult to the injury, the accused are arrogant and unapologetic.
उसका जो बात करने का तरीका है ना वो गलत है।
क्या पूछ रहे हो आपने मराठी के लिए
उसने नहीं
मराठी ना
के लिए मारेगा जो गलत व्यवहार करेगा तो हमारे वो ना फर्क नहीं पड़ता है गुनाह दाखिल होने से मराठी के मुद्दे के लिए हम लोग गुनाह लेने के लिए तैयार है।
The police and the government are hiding behind the rule book to justify their inaction.
तुरंत एफआईआर हमने रजिस्टर कर ली गई है। 7 लोग जो है उनको आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया गया है। 3 लोगों को नोटिस दिया गया है। अभी कानून में ये प्रावधान है कि 2 साल से ज़्यादा सज़ा नहीं, उसमें 7 साल से अगर कम सज़ा रहे तो उसमें अरेस्ट नहीं कर सकते। तो हमने नोटिस सबको सर्व किया गया है और सब पे प्रिवेंटिव एक्शन भी हम ले रहे हैं। जल्द से जल्द हम इसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके चार्जशीट जो है कोर्ट में फाइल करेंगे।
Even before the outrage over that incident could die down, another video of MNS hooliganism has surfaced. This time, MNS workers barged into the home of a man, Kedar Soman, who had posted a comment against MNS chief Raj Thackeray on social media. Shockingly, though, it is Kedar Soman who has been detained by the police while no action has been taken against the MNS workers caught on camera. As expected, senior MNS leaders have come out defending the actions of their workers, saying those living in Maharashtra must speak Marathi. Shockingly, even Maharashtra ministers have echoed this sentiment, though they did condemn the violence.
महाराष्ट्र में मराठी तो बोलनी ही पड़ेगी। अगर मराठी नहीं आती है तो आपका ये एटीट्यूड नहीं चलेगा कि हम मराठी बोलेंगे नहीं। हमें किसी और लैंग्वेज का अपमान हमें करना नहीं है, लेकिन मराठी में अगर कोई महाराष्ट्र में कोई मराठी को डिसरिस्पेक्ट करता है तो बिल्कुल वहाँ पे हमारे कायदा हम लागू करेंगे, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई करेंगे। जिन्होंने भी उनको मारपीट की है बिल्कुल उनको एक ही संदेश देंगे कि कायदा हाथ में मत लीजिए।
शॉपकीपर को मारने की वजह क्या थी ये जाना जाता है।
सरकार की कोई ऐसी भूमिका नहीं, किसी ने गुंडागिरी नहीं करना चाहिए। सरकार सक्षम है, आप सरकार पुलिस के पास रिपोर्ट करो, पुलिस के ऊपर कार्रवाई करेगी।
The opposition is now questioning the Maharashtra government's inaction, accusing it of emboldening MNS goons to terrorize citizens.
सरकार ने तुरंत एक्शन लेना चाहिए, कड़ी से कड़ी सजा देना चाहिए। मुंबई ये शहर मेट्रोपोलियन है, दुनिया भर के लोग मुंबई शहर में रहते हैं। संविधान ने अधिकार जो दिया है सबको अपने अपने भाषा और अपने धर्म के प्यार करने का अधिकार दिया है, लेकिन किसी को जबरदस्ती करने का अधिकार नहीं दिया है। और इस तरह से दहशत पैदा करने का काम वो ना करे, ये सरकार को हम सूचना देते हैं।
NDTV will not rest till these MNS goons who've been troubling citizens in the name of Marathi pride for years face the law. But the question remains, why no strict action unless incidents turn violent or go viral? Why are the accused still free despite being clearly identified on video? Who has been shielding them all these years? And why are ordinary citizens being vandalized, humiliated and threatened, all in the name of Marathi? The government owes answers. Now it's time for the Maharashtra government to act and act decisively to send out a message that no one is above the law. With Sujata Dwivedi, an NDTV Bureau Report.
And Sujata Dwivedi, my young colleague at NDTV, is the only journalist on the ground in Mumbai who's had the guts, who's had the spine, who's had the integrity to stick her mic in the face of the MNS, including one of the people who was actually part of that shameful attack on the outskirts of Mumbai. The only reporter who has been literally in the line of fire, asking the difficult questions of the establishment, the government, the police, and the party that is responsible for shielding these people who are still out there. They've been booked, they've been summoned by the police, but clearly they still enjoy political patronage and protection in the name of identity, pride and Marathi pride. Sujata Dwivedi is on the ground bringing you this story because it strikes a chord beyond just Maharashtra and means something for every Indian tonight.
मराठी के लिए मारेगा,
मराठी के मुद्दे के लिए हम लोग गुनाह लेने के लिए तैयार हैं।
7 साल से अगर कम सजा रहे तो उसमें अरेस्ट नहीं कर सकते, तो हमने नोटिस सबको सर्व किया गया है।
कार्रवाई तो चलते रहता ना। मैं पार्टी का वो आदमी गलत है, वो जो मारने के बाद में 50 लोग का मेरे को फोन आया, फेरी वाले जो बाहर बैठते हैं उनको तकलीफ देता है वो, और लेडीज का भी 2 दिन।
ये बात नहीं है, बात ये हो रही है कि आपने मराठी भाषा को लेकर उनको मारा।
मराठी भाषा के लिए मारा, उसने क्या आंसर दिया वो देखा तुमने? उनका जो अकड़ था वो देखा,
क्या बोला उन्होंने?
वो बोले कि मराठी सिखाओ हम लोग को आके, तो हम लोग को वो काम बचा है। उसने बोलना चाहिए कि बाबा मराठी मेरे को,
मराठी ना बोलने के लिए आप मार सकते, लेकिन आप मराठी सिखा नहीं सकते।
तो हम लोग को वो काम है क्या मराठी सिखाने का? हम लोग को काम धंधा
काम है मराठी के लिए मारना।
वो काम धंधा करेंगे,
तो ये काम धंधा करेंगे,
वो पैसा कमाएंगे और हम लोग उनको मराठी सिखाओ।
अच्छा,
ये थोड़ी बात होती है। उसने बोलना चाहिए कि बाबा मेरे को मराठी आता नहीं है, हम लोग सीख जाएंगे, बस काम खत्म हो जाता है। उसके बाद में आर्ग्यूमेंट करके मतलब नहीं है ना, आर्ग्यूमेंट करेंगे तो बढ़ जाता है। हाँ,
लेकिन वो आर्ग्यूमेंट बढ़ा
आदमी है ना, आदमी गलत है, मैं अभी भी बोलता हूँ। उसके बाद में मेरे को 50 फोन आया कि वो आदमी को जो मारा ना, वो सुनो, उसके सामने जो फेरी वाले लगते हैं ना, उनका वो औकात निकालता है।
आपने फेरी वाले के लिए मारा कि मराठी के लिए मारा?
सुनो, मराठी के लिए मारा, बट जो फेरी वाले को ना वो भी तकलीफ देता है। और उसका जो फेरी वाले है ना, उनके जो प्रीमाइसेस में जो फेरी वाले है, वो एक लेडीज को है ना, उसने 2 दिन पहला ना,
मेरे को सुनिए, ये अलग बात है, ये अलग बात है। मैं बोल रही हूँ कि अगर वो कल को या ऐसा कोई भी दुकान वाला मराठी नहीं बोलता तो आप ऐसे मारेंगे?
मराठी नहीं बोलेगा, उसने जवाब अच्छे से देगा ना, तो कोई मारता नहीं। हम लोग क्या पागल कुत्ता नहीं है कि बाबा?
आप लोग ने उन्हें मारा, जब आप लोग ने उन्हें मारा तो उन्होंने तो आपको वापस मारा भी नहीं, मार तो आप ही लोग रहे।
नहीं, हाँ तो वही मारा ना। उसके बाद में तो मैं छुड़ाया, और आपके चैनल वाले ने जो छुड़ाने वाला उसका फोटो लगा दिया।
लेकिन आप तो वहाँ पे मौजूद थे, आप रोक सकते।
बाद में आए हम लोग, सब होने के बाद में वो जो बाबूलाल चौधरी है ना,
लेकिन आपके सभी कार्यकर्ता ऐसे मारते हैं लोगों को।
तो मारते, गलत करते हैं सामने वाला तभी मारते।
लेकिन मारना सही है।
मेरे सब लोग,
सामने वाला बोलकर गलत करता है और आप लोग मारकर सही करते हैं।
हमारे पार्टी में भी है ना, सब परप्रांतीय लोग है, मुस्लिम लोग है, सब भाई है हमारे।
And Sujata Dwivedi is live with me. Very proud to call her my colleague here on NDTV because it is not easy to be a reporter in Mumbai at a time when emotions are high, at a time when the coverage is taking the questions directly to the MNS. Sujata, first of all, incredible coverage because in the face of literally one of the people who was responsible and who was there actually slapping that old man, you with the NDTV mic were asking him the tough questions. On the ground, Sujata, this story has had a lot of resonance.
Well, certainly, and to start with, this was also one of the most harsh coverage that I've had because, talking about the timeline of the incident where a shopkeeper is harmed and he's beaten up, he's threatened in his own premises only for something that is a political agenda of a particular political party. Now, here also one thing that I witnessed was the loss and no integrity amongst the MNS workers because on one end, one of their leaders, Mr. Jadhav, he says that they are going to teach the people of the people who cannot speak in Marathi, they'll teach them Marathi, whereas others, like Amol Patil, who also happens to be one of the accused who's named in this entire matter, he says that it is not their business to look after people teaching them Marathi. Now, here we also spoke to the DCP of Zone 1,
yes,
and he says that because this is a cognizable offense, there cannot be arrest that is made. But what is even more serious is where on the grounds of the legality, accountability is held at stake. And, there are these policemen who say that it is not in their hands to take action against these goons who claim themselves and call themselves as members of a political party. And how does, they work towards ensuring that the law and order situation in Mumbai especially is not harmed, is looked after. Over to you.
And how did it feel reporting this story, Sujata, on the ground? Because you were literally speaking to Amol Patil, the guy in the grey, who was literally there also slapping that shopkeeper. Did you feel unsafe at any point of time? This is not an easy story to cover.
Well, at a point, not really. I didn't really feel scared or insecure for that matter. But there was a point where he did try to justify himself, and he kept on telling, us, our team, that what you guys have shown on TV is not really what the matter is. And he was one of them, but yet he was trying to refuse that on camera. Now, the same thing happened with the other MNS leaders who we tried to speak, and they all kept refusing that they were part of this entire incident. At the same time, they're also justifying what their political members did. So somewhere Amol Patil definitely tried justifying himself, but at the same time, the sentences that he gave us stating that it is not his job to teach people, but it is their job to hit people and asking them to learn the language. So somewhere definitely, how these members and the party workers of a political party like Maharashtra Navnirman Sena are trying to justify their deeds of hitting a person and then claiming that that it was in the interest of their state, of their heritage, of their language is even more shocking. And how does this lead to, the law and order situation in Mumbai, in Maharashtra getting even tense? Because, tomorrow we'll just see another member of a particular political party or another group just coming up and hitting people on several grounds that are not even relevant.
Keep reporting this story in the brave manner in which you have, Sujata. Thanks very much for joining me tonight. And Sujata and her team will be on this story from early tomorrow morning as well, because when we make a promise here on NDTV about coverage, it is without any agenda, but it is with a full promise to see it right till the end. And before I go to my guest, just a reminder that on NDTV, there is no party-specific agenda whatsoever. Right here on this show, yesterday and before we began this broadcast, we've called out VIP thuggery of the MNS, of the UBT, of the BJP, and of the Congress party. So let's throw out a challenge to anyone to see if we are targeting only one side. The reason we are talking about the MNS attack is because that viral video from Thane has struck a chord with every Indian, and the faces of those MNS thugs is emblazoned in the mind of every right-thinking citizen who is fed up with VIP thuggery. This is a new India that has no place for it anymore. Welcoming onto our coverage tonight on India Matters, Mangesh Kasalkar, he's a leader of the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena. Shaina NC is a member of the Shiv Sena, one of the ruling parties in Maharashtra right now. Kunal Tilak is spokesperson of the BJP, also one of the ruling parties. And Sajid Supariwala is leader of the Shiv Sena UBT or the Udhav Sena. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for being with me. मंगेश जी, आपसे शुरू करूंगा मैं. ये जो 5 लोग थे जिन्होंने एक दुकानदार पर हमला किया, गाली दिया, जो वीडियो जो पूरा वायरल हो चुका है पिछले 2 दिन से, वो उनके ऊपर एक पुलिस कंप्लेंट है, वो बुक भी हो चुके हैं, लेकिन अभी भी वो सामने नहीं आ रहे हैं. क्यों? उनको बुलाया भी गया है पुलिस स्टेशन में, लेकिन वो कहाँ हाइड कर रहे हैं?
सर, पहली बात आपको क्लियर करना चाहते हैं कि आप लोग जो वीडियो दिखा रहे हैं सिर्फ आधा अधूरा सच आप दिखा रहे हैं. पूरा वीडियो अगर दिखाएंगे तो अच्छी बात रहेगी. आप सिर्फ मारा हुआ दिखा दे रहे, उसमें क्या गलती की वो आप दिखाई नहीं दे रहे.
नहीं, लेकिन आपके लोगों को किसने हक दिया हाथ उठाने का?
पहली बात
आप तो पॉलिटिक्स में है ना, आप तो पॉलिटिक्स में है. मंगेश जी, मैं रिस्पेक्टफुली आपसे पूछ रहा हूं कि आप तो पॉलिटिक्स में हैं, वो तो नागरिक हैं. आपके कायरों को किसने हक दिया हाथ उठाने का?
पहली बात, अगर कायर वगैरह जो
वो 5 लोग, मंगेश भाई सुनिए मेरी बात, वो तो कायर ही है ना, वो तो कहाँ छुपे हैं?
आपको लगता रहेगा कायर हो, हमारे अभिमान प्राइड के लिए लड़ रहे हैं.
नहीं, वो कोई प्राइड के लिए नहीं लड़ रहे हैं. मराठी लोग आपको रिजेक्ट कर चुके हैं, आपको एक सीट भी नहीं मिला है चुनाव में.
वो आपको लगता है?
आपको एक सीट भी नहीं मिला चुनाव में. मराठी लोग आपको प्यार नहीं करते हैं.
बीजेपी की 2 सीट से आज उनकी जाके मेजोरिटी आई है, तो पॉलिटिकल अप एंड डाउन होते रहता है.
नहीं,
इसमें आप कोई
आपका सिर्फ डाउन ही है, आपका अप ही नहीं हुआ है. नहीं,
अरे अब हुआ था, आपको शायद मालूम नहीं.
I don't want to be rude to my guests. I don't want to be rude to my guests. मैं रिस्पेक्टफुली बात करूंगा आपसे, क्योंकि आप हमारे मेहमान हैं इस शो पे. लेकिन मैं आपसे पूछूंगा कि ये जो 4-5 लोग जो भी हैं, इंक्लूडिंग अमोल पाटिल जिन्होंने NDTV से बात की, वो तो जस्टिफाई कर रहे हैं कि हम हमला करेंगे ऐसे. अगर किसी ने बदतमीजी की मराठी को लेकर, हम तो ऐसा करेंगे. ऐसा कोई वीडियो सामने नहीं आया है. वो वीडियो जो सामने आया है उसमें साफ दिखाई दे रहा है कि वो उनके ऊपर हमला हो रहा है.
आपके पास जो वीडियो आया है आधा अधूरा वीडियो है. पूरा वीडियो आपको चाहिए तो भेज देंगे NDTV को.
नहीं, आपने सामने क्यों नहीं रखा है वो वीडियो? ये 2 दिन से वायरल चल रहा है, आपने क्यों नहीं रखा है?
अरे सर जी, आपको जो वीडियो मिला ना, उसके पहले वाला वीडियो भी वही से मिलेगा.
मैं ये सबमिट करता हूं.
मंगेश बात सुनिए, शिव जी बात सुनिए. कैसा है ना कि सिर्फ आप बोलेंगे और हम सुनेंगे, ऐसे ना हमारी भी सुननी पड़ेगी.
नहीं, आपको भी सुनना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आप लोगों को सुनने की आदत नहीं है मंगेश. ये तो प्रॉब्लम है. जब भी आपको कुछ पसंद नहीं है तो हाथ उठाते हैं.
आप लोगों को प्रॉब्लम है कि मराठी के बारे में पूछे. मराठी के बारे में जो भी रहता है तो आप आधा अधूरी कुछ भी बातें सुनते हो, आधा अधूरी.
सर, जो भी प्रोवोकेशन है, जो मैं सबमिट करता हूं, आपकी बात सुन ली मैंने. जो भी प्रोवोकेशन है, आपके लोगों को क्या हक है किसी नागरिक के ऊपर हाथ उठाने का? ये मैं सवाल पूछ रहा हूं, क्योंकि पुलिस जो है इन 5 कायरों को बुक कर चुके हैं. उनके ऊपर एक पुलिस कंप्लेंट दर्ज हो चुका है, लेकिन वो कहाँ है अभी? उनकी बहादुरी कहाँ है? उनकी बहादुरी कहाँ है? अब
क्या गए? कोई बात के नहीं गया.
24 घंटे के लिए वो तो छुपे हैं, वो तो छुप गए हैं, वो सामने ही नहीं आ रहे.
अपने नोटिस लेके अपने घर में है, कोई भागता नहीं है. मराठी के लिए जितना कर
उनकी बहादुरी सिर्फ एक बुजुर्ग आदमी के लिए है. उनकी बहादुरी,
वो बुजुर्ग आदमी है, आज वहाँ पे 20 साल से रह रहे हैं मेरा भाईंदर में.
हाँ, तो ठीक है, तो क्या हुआ?
भी अगर उसको मराठी, बात सुनो शिवजी, 20 साल के बाद भी अगर उसको मराठी नहीं आती ना,
तो आपको क्या है? आपको किसने हक दिया किसी पर हमला करने का?
20 साल मुंबई.
अरे भैया, कानून में कहाँ लिखा है कि किसी को मराठी में बात करना है?
वो 20 साल के बाद भी मराठी नहीं बोलते. सर, मराठी की लैंग्वेज में
महाराष्ट्र ने आपको रिजेक्ट वैसे भी पॉलिटिकली कर दिया है मंगेश भाई.
ठीक है शिव जी, आपने बोला इसके लिए
कुछ और उपाय ढूंढिए चुनाव के लिए.
इसके लिए होता नहीं है.
नहीं, मैं एक सीधा सवाल पूछ रहा हूं आपसे, नॉर्मल सवाल, नॉट अ लोडेड क्वेश्चन. सीधा सवाल, ये जो बहादुरी इन 5 लोगों ने दिखाया इस आदमी को थप्पड़ मारने का, वो बहादुरी कहाँ है? उनको बुलाया गया है पुलिस ने उनको समन किया है क्वेश्चनिंग के लिए. तो कहाँ चला गया ये बहादुरी? क्यों नहीं आए हैं? अगर एमएनएस वालों को डर नहीं है तो सामने आए और क्वेश्चनिंग के लिए पेश हो जाए।
मालूम नहीं है, वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, आपके रिपोर्टर ने आपको गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन दी है। उन्होंने अपना नोटिस ले लिया है, जो समन्स था वो ले लिया पुलिस स्टेशन में जाके।
क्यों?
जो कार्रवाई करनी है
क्यों नहीं आए हैं? कहाँ छुपे हैं?
अरे आ गए,
पॉलिटिकल प्रोटेक्शन मिल रहा है ना अभी।
आ गए सर जी, उनके ऊपर समन्स आ गया, समन्स उन्होंने ले लिया। हाँ। जो भी लीगल कार्रवाई हुई वो हो जी।
तो मतलब एमएनएस उनको प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा है अभी।
डेफिनेटली जो मराठी के अपमान करेगा, हमारे
मार खाएगा,
हमारे महाराष्ट्र में उनको
मार खाएगा,
बराबर से सबक देंगे,
मार खाएगा।
जो अगर बात से बात माने तो अच्छी बात है। हाँ। तो हमारा हाथ रहता ही है।
तो आप नेशनल टेलीविजन पे ये बोल रहे हैं और सब लोग सुन रहे हैं, आपको 0 तो मिला है चुनाव में, लेकिन वो ठीक है, लेकिन आप बोल रहे हैं, फिर से प्रॉमिस कर रहे हैं,
0 जिसके पीछे लगता है आगे लगता है, उसकी वैल्यू हो जाती है।
आप फिर से नेशनल टेलीविजन पे बोल रहे हैं मंगेश भाई, रिस्पेक्टफुली मैं सवाल कर रहा हूं कि अगर किसी ने मराठी को लेकर बोला कि मैं मराठी नहीं बोलता हूं, मैं नहीं बोलूंगा, जो भी है, आप बोल रहे हैं, आप वादा कर रहे हैं अभी नेशनल टेलीविजन पर, एनडीटीवी पर, कि आप हाथ उठाएंगे, ये है ना?
मैं आपको शिव जी एकदम क्लियर कट लैंग्वेज है, मराठी आपको नहीं, हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ, रिस्पेक्टफुली बोल रहा हूँ। हर एक को रिक्वेस्ट रहता है, हर एक को अपने अपने मदर
ये रिक्वेस्ट नहीं था मंगेश भाई, ये रिक्वेस्ट नहीं था।
शिव जी बीच में नहीं बोलिए, अगर मैं आपको सुन रहा था तो प्लीज आपको रिक्वेस्ट है,
प्लीज स्पीक।
कैसे है ना कि सर जी क्या है कि उनको रिक्वेस्ट की गई थी, उन्होंने नहीं माना, गलत तरीके से उन्होंने बात की, तो उसका एक्शन का रिएक्शन था। आप भी समझो शिव जी, क्या हमें भी वही काम धंधा नहीं, किसी को मारते रहे, वो भी बुजुर्ग आदमी, बेचारे बुजुर्ग नहीं, बुजुर्ग जैसी बात करनी चाहिए।
नहीं एक्शन रिएक्शन बहुत।
20 साल के बाद अगर एक आदमी को शिव जी 20 साल के बाद एक आदमी को अगर मराठी आती नहीं तो उसके लिए शर्म की बात है। हमारे बहुत सारे दोस्त लोग हैं जो हिंदी भाषी के लिए मराठी अच्छे से बोल लेते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, हर एक को प्राइड रहता है।
किसी के पास हक नहीं है,
तो हमारा भी एक काम,
किसी के पास हक नहीं है हाथ उठाने का अगेंस्ट अ कॉमन सिटीजन, नो मैटर व्हाट द प्रोवोकेशन. No matter what the provocation, especially a political party, and you cannot make that something that is normalized. Mangeshji, stay with me. Shaina NC is a member of the Shiv Sena, the Shinde Sena, which is part of the ruling government. Shaina, yesterday on the show, we had a BJP spokesperson who said, these guys will not be spared, we will go after them, they will be booked. MNS is laughing at you. They're saying, we are protecting them right now. जब समन्स आएगा, we'll see, we'll give them legal protection and we'll produce them. If we feel like it, we'll produce them. How do you feel about that?
Firstly, let me please give you the stand of the Shinde Sena, and that we believe that Marathi Asmita, the culture of Maharashtra, must be not just enhanced but also reiterate that Marathi should be compulsory in a state when it comes to respecting the motherland where you have made all your livelihood. So if you take many examples, Shiv, people who may not necessarily be Maharashtrian, they still speak Marathi. I for one speak Marathi, Hindi, English, Gujarati and multiple languages, and that is the plea of the political class. Having said that, the Ubata Sena and the Manse seem to have lost their political relevance, which has been proven time and again.
Yes.
And that's why their leaders reiterate time and again as if to suggest that this is their core thought process. There are democratic processes in place where you can encourage people. You can also espouse that, every single citizen must learn Marathi if they choose to stay in Maharashtra as mandatory, as has been the plea of Eknath Shinde and our party. But at no juncture have we said that if somebody does not know how to speak Marathi, that they must be vandalized or beaten like these thugs have chosen to do.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you've called them thugs, because that is what they are. Mangesh Bhai took offense when I called them Kair, but what else are they? They are people who have attacked people and then gone into hiding.
Can I just complete my point?
Yes.
Yeah. Both Raj Thackeray ji and Uddhav Thackeray ji's Ubata Sena have failed to translate their own political mobilization into electoral success. And this one has seen time and again. So if you look at the sheer numbers of the Mahayuti winning 230 out of 288, shows you that we have been chosen for multiple reasons. Our developmental agenda, our belief in Marathi Asmita, our giving an Abhijat Darja to Marathi as a language, to withdraw to GRs when it came to this controversy of the NEP, where, let me please remind you, in 2020 when the national education policy came in, it was then Uddhav Thackeray ji that talked about a 3-language policy, and when it came to MNS, they kind of rallied on.
Let me get Mangesh and Sajid Supariwala of the Uddhav Sena to respond to that big point that you've made. Sajid, go ahead. Sajid, you want to respond to Shaina? She says it is irrelevance that has led to this kind of violence. One of your ex-MPs, Rajan Vichare, is in his office also, somebody was being slapped.
Now I'm coming to the point.
Yeah.
First of all, Rajan Vichare ji, what you talked about, I already saw our leader Aditya Thackeray Saab's statement addressing to the press that there has been some incident. It was not the fight for any language or any other things. It was a personal fight which went overboard.
Yeah.
We will give you the proofs later on, definitely.
We are not saying this is about Marathi. We are not saying it's about Marathi. We are talking about VIP thugs.
Let me come. Yeah. And give me 2 minutes uninterrupted. I'll give you all the points what I have. It's my own personal thought.
Yeah.
As a Shiv Sena UBT leader, I am trying to put facts across with full responsibility. I am saying here, first of all, I'll reply to Shaina ji, that Shaina ji, we have not lost our ground. We haven't lost anything. In fact, now you are talking about Marathi language. I'll tell you one thing, that Eknath Shinde ji has gone with the BJP. They have tried to implement strongly the compulsion of Hindi language from first standard, whereas MNS and Shiv Sena UBT together came across together for the cause of Marathi. No need to implement any language compulsory to first standard students.
Sajid, you're diverting
been taken back.
I don't want to go into the language policy now.
Let me complete.
Yeah, but I don't want. No, we have limited time, so I don't want to go into language policy.
I said 2 minutes.
We are talking about VIP thugs right now.
I'm just taking 2 minutes.
We have a video on our screen of what happened in the office of your MP.
Can I complete?
Yeah.
Can I complete? That what you're showing here, there are a lot of details, like the MNS fight which had gone over there in Thane. The MNS spokesman also saying the same thing. I am also saying the same thing. See the whole video, try to understand the full situation.
How can an elected representative endorse violence, Sajid? Come on.
There have been some instances. You have to see what the shopkeeper also told and what this guy also has done.
It does not matter. How can political workers indulge in violence like this?
I am saying, what is wrong in speaking in Marathi in India, in Maharashtra?
What is wrong is hitting somebody for it.
No,
what is wrong is hitting somebody for it.
There could have been some other reason also.
No, whatever it is, you can't hit. Who has given your MP or his workers the right to slap somebody?
It is not that.
We have already clarified. Who has given them the right to do that?
This wasn't for
Take them to the police if they've offended your sentiments. Teach them something. How dare you slap citizens?
We never promote violence. We have never promoted violence. We have never sided
Then why don't you take action against your MP then? Why don't you take action against your MP?
Aditya ji has already said that he has spoken to Rajan Vichare ji. They will come to a conclusion. They'll find out the facts and accordingly they will be taking further action on whatever has happened. And coming to the point, simple. When you are
People
in Karnataka,
are watching you, sir. People are watching you.
When you are in other states, don't you speak their languages? Not the signboards are not there in their languages. It's better, na? If we are earning in Maratha, I am not myself. When you are earning, you are trying to get a foothold in Maharashtra. Why not speak the native language? What is wrong? We should
Nobody has shown any contempt to Marathi, sir. Please, Marathi is a beautiful language. Maharashtra is a beautiful state. This is about VIP thugs trying to create traction for themselves politically. Nobody has abused Marathi. If someone has abused Marathi, take them to the police station.
Shivji, 1 minute. 1 minute. Like Mangeshji just said, that you have to see the full video of what has happened before that. There has, if you don't know Marathi,
still does not justify it.
If you don't know Marathi, you have to...
No, it does not justify it.
If you don't know Marathi, you have to speak nicely that, okay, it is necessary, it's good to learn Marathi.
Sir,
it's not wrong, it's
sir,
a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a language.
sir, how,
don't we want to speak in Marathi?
Sajid,
Aren't there
you are
Marathi
a...
channels in Maharashtra?
Sajid, you are a spokesperson and a friend. How are we different from Pakistan then? Mangesh bhai, मैं आपसे आऊँगा इस सवाल के लिए. How are we different from Pakistan if you are saying कि अगर ठीक से नहीं बोलोगे तो मार खाओगे? That's what both your parties are saying on this issue.
अरे सर आप शायद उसका गलत इंटरप्शन जो कर रहे हैं ना, उसका जो आप कर रहे हो गलत बात सुनिए. हम लोग ने कहाँ पे भी ऐसा नहीं कहा. मैंने यही कहा है कि अगर चाइना में अगर हिंदी मराठी गुजराती सब लैंग्वेज अच्छे से बोल पाते, वो जो जिनको मारा गया है वो 20 साल से दूसरा जनरेशन है, उनको वहां पे रह रहे. मेरा भाईंदर पे बहुत फेमस दुकान है.
आप कैसे कंट्रोल कर सकते हो?
आपकी जीद है, हमें मराठी बोलनी ही नहीं है, तो हमारी भी जीद है कि हम उनसे मराठी बुलवाएंगे.
But who has given? How are you the custodian of that? You are not even. You are not the police. You are not the government. आपको हक किसने दिया?
परंतु तुम्ही असंच त्यांना मारणार तर कसं चालणार?
चायना मॅडम, तुम्ही सुंदर किती मराठी बोलता. आज 20 वर्ष ते लोक राहिले, त्यांना मराठी बोलायची गरज नाहीये का? त्यांना वाटतच नाही का मनापासून? हमारी रिक्वेस्ट है, हमें कोई हिंदी
one at a time.
हिंदी लैंग्वेज वो भी अच्छी लैंग्वेज, मराठी लैंग्वेज भी अच्छी है. मराठी सीख लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं रहेगी.
Let me bring Kunal Tilak. He's been waiting also.
I would like to make a
point. I would encouraging languages, and especially in a home state. I completely concede if you've made your livelihood and lived in Maharashtra, you must know the local language. It's something we need to encourage in totality. But to take law into your hand,
create an atmosphere where you get people to learn the language. What is wrong with that?
I would like to make a point here.
Kunal from the BJP, go ahead.
Yes. So I second with China NC's thoughts that Marathi as a language should be learned, should be studied by the people living here who are earning their livelihood here in Maharashtra, and it should be encouraged. And that is why I feel I would like to make a point here that the UBT Sena and the MNS, that is why they shouldn't oppose the policy that has been brought forward by the Mahayuti government right now regarding the 3 language, because it makes Marathi compulsory in all the schools of Maharashtra, be it in any medium of language. So that is encouraging people to learn Marathi, to study Marathi, so that they can speak Marathi, so that such people, such thugs will not be able to take my law in their own hands and infringement. मराठी कंपल्सरी हिंदी कंपल्सरी कर रहे थे. शायद आप कुछ गलत पॉलिसी पढ़ के आए हो. तो हिंदी कंपल्सरी कर रहे थे, हमने जिद की कि मराठी तो होनी चाहिए और हिंदी नहीं होनी चाहिए.
One second. Sajid, let Mangesh make his point. I'll come back to you.
आपके गवर्नमेंट ने नहीं की है.
They have misinterpreted the policy, which ensures that Marathi is made compulsory, English is the second language, and the third language should be any native language of India according to the NEP 2020.
Look,
so that is where
the scope of this debate, Kunal.
NEP 2020 में कहाँ पे भी बोला नहीं गया है कि कंपल्सरी होनी चाहिए थर्ड लैंग्वेज.
No, but this is not even about policy. One second, I want to jump in. Mangesh and Kunal, this has become a discussion in some ways about policy and the language policy in schools, etc. That is a completely different debate. We are talking today about 5 thugs hitting a person and justifications being issued. You even had a Minister of State, Yogesh Kadam, saying if you are in Maharashtra, you should learn Marathi. And, basically insinuating almost that these things might happen if your attitude is not correct.
That is not the language.
It is not a law, sir. My point is, the law does not permit anybody to beat someone up on this issue. The law stops protecting you at the point where आपका हाथ उठता है. That is where the law stops
20 साल
protecting you.
25 साल रहने के बाद भी अगर किसी को मराठी आती नहीं तो करना क्या
मंगेश भाई,
चाहिए?
आप कानून नहीं बना रहे. If that is a law in Maharashtra that everybody has to learn Marathi and they have to speak it depending on the number of years they have spent there.
हमने क्या गलत कहा?
Then
हम
we
भी
can
वही
do it.
बोल रहे हैं, हम भी वही बोल रहे हैं.
सर, ये देश है, ये पाकिस्तान नहीं है, ये चाइना नहीं है, ये सेंटिमेंट्स पे नहीं चलता है, ये कानून पे चलेगा ना, ये कानून पे चलेगा. आप तो सरकार में भी नहीं है.
कानूनी
You are not even in any municipality.
कानूनी है, मराठी सीखनी चाहिए आपको.
It does not give you the right. I want to go back to the basics because Sajid and Mangesh, you are underestimating the anger of Maharashtrians also. You think that the people of Maharashtra are on your side on this. You must really, really introspect on this issue. And believe me when I say this. Believe me when I say this. And both of you know me. I don't take sides in these things. People are very angry after NDTV has put this story out. They say that this kind of VIP thuggery. Mangesh bhai, अगर आपको लगता है, मंगेश भाई सुनो.
वीडियो अगर आपने चलाया ना, तो शायद आपको मतलब पब्लिक को भी समझ में आएगा कि उसने क्या कहा था. तो पहले
it is not. I have just called for the arrest of that BJP guy in Odisha also. We have called for the action to be taken against the Congress minister in Himachal also. You cannot point a finger at me and tell me कि I have any kind of prejudice. This is about a principle.
गुजरात में माननीय पंतप्रधान मोदी जी स्पीच में पूछ रहे थे कि मैं हिंदी में बोलूं कि नहीं बोलूं. उनके ऊपर कुछ कार्रवाई होने वाली क्या? ऐसा मत बोलिए. अगर गुजरात में अगर
take them on issues, whatever you want, take them on. I am saying you please take on the BJP on any language issues you want.
महाराष्ट्र मुंबई में
You cannot attack citizens is the bottom line.
महाराष्ट्र है, मुंबई में आपको मराठी आनी चाहिए.
You cannot.
I want to tell you
You have embarrassed India.
हमारा डिमांड जायज है.
Mangesh bhai, your party has embarrassed India. Has embarrassed India. That is the point we are making tonight.
हमारी डिमांड बराबर है. मुंबई में महाराष्ट्र में
I'm out of time. I'm out of time. I need to take a break. I'm out of time. I need to take a break. But Mangesh and to all of our guests, Shaina, Sajid and Kunal for joining me on this. Thank you. This conversation will continue. And remember, this is not an agenda-specific story. This is an issue-specific story. And it clearly has struck a chord in different parts of the country. I'm taking a very, very quick break here on India Matters. On the other side, we're switching focus completely to a different story of that F-35 that continues to be stranded in Kerala for 19 days and running. And we now have a confirmation that the aircraft may not even fly back. I'll tell you why.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
फिनेस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Find Finer Finesta. Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools, and lead with impact. Starts July 13th. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
फिनेस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Find Finer Finesta.
फिनेस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Find Finer Finesta.
गोल्ड क्लास ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
बदलाव की इच्छा रखने वाले लोग, उनको ये तय करना है कि वो जनसुराज जैसे नए विकल्प को चुनते हैं कि फिर पिटे पिटाए अपनी पुरानी व्यवस्था में जाना चाहते हैं।
मैं चिराग पासवान पूरी तरीके से बिहार विधानसभा का चुनाव लड़ने के लिए तैयार हूँ।
तेजस्वी जी मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं, हमारी पूरी सपोर्ट है उनको। हम किंग मेकर की भूमिका में रहना चाहते हैं।
कि लोग घर से बाहर नहीं निकल पाते थे।
प्रधानमंत्री जी को बताना चाहिए कि इनका जो बिहार में जो सरकार है, 50% जो नीतीश जी की मंत्रिमंडल में जो लोग बैठे हैं वो परिवारवादी लोग हैं। वो अपने आप को भी परिवारवादी बोले।
जंगल राज लाने वाले मौका देख रहे हैं, अपने पुराने कारनामे करने का मौका ढूंढ रहे हैं।
The Royal Navy F-35 stealth fighter jet that made an emergency landing on the 14th of June, 19 days ago, is still stuck at the Thiruvananthapuram airport in Kerala. 19 days on the ground. Now, in military aviation, aircraft having problems and having to be grounded is not uncommon, but 19 days for such an advanced fighter is definitely abnormal. And we're told after repeated attempts to get this aircraft serviceable and able to fly back on its own power, the Royal Navy and the British government are now considering a plan B, which could involve something like this. These are representative images from 2019 of an F-35 being dismantled and loaded inside a giant C-17 heavy lift aircraft. So this kind of thing is precisely what the Royal Navy is currently looking at after having practically given up trying to fix this aircraft. Let's tell you a little bit more about this aircraft before we go to our guests and understand how difficult it's going to be to get this thing back to the UK. It is part of the most expensive military projects in the world, the F-35, the Joint Strike Fighter. The F-35 program over its entire life will cost over $1.7 trillion. Just think about that number. Most lethal, survivable and connected fighter aircraft. The reason I'm telling you all this, of course, is to even think of an aircraft like this just sitting on the ground for 19 days in India gives pilots an advantage against any adversary. It's like, in many ways, looked at as some kind of a Brahmastra by the countries that operate it. Stealth coating, radar blockers, lots of secretive technology are part of this. Advanced AI and data fusion, part of the technology is encrypted software and sensors. That's one of the reasons why the Brits are very skittish about this technology being away from them for too long. It has nuclear and, of course, missile capabilities. Foreign access has raised big concerns, but India and Britain obviously have very close diplomatic relationship. Who can dismantle this aircraft? Only Lockheed Martin trained engineers. That's the company that manufactured these aircrafts. There's a great deal of military oversight which is necessary when dismantling takes place, because these are highly specialized aircraft. Every move is logged and verified because it's also a very expensive aircraft. Even screws are security coded, which is standard in fighter aircraft. But loss of a jet can be looked at as